Great. Thanks, Don. So yeah, again, welcome everybody. When I do these webinars, I like to have them be interactive instead of me just talking for 30 minutes or so. Feel free to ask questions throughout. Mark and Eric, you kind of already have an idea of APICS, so I'll kind of blow through some of the ASCM stuff. So CLTD. So here's my agenda, right? Let's talk about it. What is it? Exam stuff, which everybody's interested in, and then program. So here are ACM facts. You guys know them as APICS. Seem to be a little bit confusing for some folks, but it's the same organization. So the three certifications, again, Mark, you said you were CSCP, and Eric, I thought you said also that you were CSCP.
Correct.
Okay, so you know, they have these. So here's how I explain these three certifications. CPIM is the thoracic body. It's the organs, the main organs of the business, right? CSCP is kind of the arms of the business, because they reach both back into the suppliers and forward towards the customers. And then CLT are the legs of the body that help to kind of transport everything around. So that's kind of my analogy. So let's talk about CLTD. The real idea here, the next two slides are really the meat and potatoes of this webinar. I wanted to start it off with strategy and planning on this slide, because so many folks think, oh, it's transportation. It's transportation modes. And it's a whole lot more than that. It's much like CSCP, which I also teach. It starts off with strategy and planning. So what is the company's logistics strategy? It's more than just the warehouse worker getting a pallet from a shelf to a truck, or the right pallet to the right truck. It really starts off with the big picture of things. We then move into the warehouse side. Warehouse management is warehouse layouts. How many warehouses? Where should I put the warehouses? What should I put in the warehouses? And I'm going to be a little bit redundant, but right, there's a whole lot more to it than just warehouse management. The transportation side. So knowing what type of vehicle should go in what type of product should be put onto what type of vehicle, with going back to that strategy and planning piece of things. So understanding the pros and cons, understanding the cost differences, understanding the just the basic pieces of the different transportation modes. So we live in a global world, so the global side of things. So it's not just LTL or full loads going from my region to another region. Now we're talking about global logistics. We're talking about intermodal logistics. Going from freight to train to freight to truck to train to truck, right? Those kinds of things, and air freight also. Risk management. Some of CLTD is adjacent to CPIM and CSCP. So the basic concept of risk management, understanding the if I just take an example right now, understanding that if you order something by boat right now, it's probably going to get stuck outside Long Beach Port for longer than it should. Understanding that it's not going to get through customs very smoothly today than it did maybe a year ago, maybe 2 years. Let's go 2 years. 2 years ago. So the tools necessary for risk management, sustainability logistics. So APICS is real big on the triple bottom line, meaning people, planet, and profit. It's not just profit. So how do I incorporate the sustainability piece of it? Is that natural gas vehicles? Is it whatever it is? Right. That's that kind of category with sustainability. So that's kind of the structure of the CLTD course. So what can you expect to get out of the CLTD course, right? Distribution inventory management. A lot of people will say, well, isn't that covered in CPIM? Yeah, the basics of inventory management, but not on the distribution network side. So where are my warehouses? What inventory do I have in those warehouses? How often am I moving material between warehouses and hubs and all that other stuff? So if you understand that, then you can improve that. Develop and monitor warehouse performance metrics. So it goes back to the previous slide about warehouse management. So again, it's not just the forklift driver getting the right pallet onto the right truck. It's how is the warehouse performing, and how can I measure that performance? And I think it was Deming that said, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So understanding metrics for that. Risk, I kind of talked about this a little bit at length, not a little bit already. Manage and execute orders. This is an interesting one, I think, because it gives people the big picture perspective. I was on a call with a client this morning, and the new production manager said, I don't care what happens after I finish the order, or something like that, right? And I knew where he was coming from when he said it, but the order still has to get to the customer. And whether it's his responsibility or somebody else's responsibility, if he can produce it so that it is, the pallets are labeled, everybody knows what's on each pallet, and that is going to line up the truck loading process a whole lot easier. It's going to line up the warehousing a whole lot easier. So this bullet point really came to mind when he said that, and I cringed because having an emphasis on logistics. Logistics has typically been the bottom of the hill, so to speak, as all things roll down. Right? You guys just deal with it. I'm gonna puke all the products to you, and you guys figure it out from there. So that CLTD really helps to give that bigger picture and understanding. From a voice of the customer standpoint, the logistics is the customer of production, or is the customer of fulfillment, or whatever it is that's providing it. So understand that big picture and knowing what to ask for. So optimum inventory levels. Again, it's not just the CPIM or even CSCP. Economic order quantities and like those kinds of things. This is really CLTD focuses on the where should I be locating the inventory in relation to the customer, where in the warehouse should I be locating the inventory, right, when it comes to costs and controls. So cycle time, again, this is one of those common, the lean side of CPIM, CSCP, CLTD. I find that there's that common thread that goes through all of them. And then the other one here is the strategy, right? I started off in the last slide by saying, hey, we're talking about strategy and planning, right? Let's align the logistics strategy so that it meets the company's objectives, and it's not just one of those things off to the side that's independent. It's everybody moving in the same direction. All right, linking. Right, so customer service levels. Again, that's a I don't want to say it's an APICS term, but it's a supply chain term, customer service level, and understanding how logistics plays a role in meeting those things. Effective warehouse layouts, I mentioned that already. Transportation logistics design, I mentioned that. Forecasting, right? Yes, we still talk about forecasting because in the future, if we talk strategy and planning, how many warehouses do I need in 6 months? I was at a client yesterday, and he's going from he's basically increasing his order volume by 200% by the end of the year, and he's also bringing on a new manufacturer in a new country. And so we're talking about, hey, what are the forecasts, and how are we going to get product from here to there and back and forth, right? So that's kind of that piece of it. I just covered that too. Reverse logistics. So it's not just product returns, but it may be material, it may be shipping material, it may be hazardous materials, right? So how do I get that stuff back from a logistics standpoint? So and there you go, triple bottom line. So there are a lot of words on here, but I highlighted or bolded some of the important ones. Supply chain, all the CSCP is about cooperation and collaboration. It's the same thing here, right? So how do I work with my supply chain from a logistics and transportation standpoint to work together with it? So interactions and interdependencies. Again, that goes back to the internal piece of it. What role does logistics play in sales? What role does transportation play in sales? So if I'm going to ship it air freight, but my salesperson is quoting it sea freight, well, we may have a little disconnect there. So insights, again, this is perfect example, right? Maybe my salesperson never talked to my transportation person before, right? So the transportation being knowledgeable, being CLTD certified, can have that confidence and knowledge to say, hey, company objectives, you want to meet this profit level, I can help you on the back end of things. So and then the certification itself. So this is an interesting slide, and I have this slide for my CPIM and CSCP webinars, and it's really trying to explain who the ideal student is, or who the ideal learner is for this particular course, and it's taking job titles and job functions and trying to group them into these categories. Customer service management. That means a whole lot more different if I'm talking about my water company that I pay my utility bill to than a research and development firm, right? So so kind of, take this with a grain of salt as you read through here. Understanding the content really drives who your right person is, who, if you are the right person, right? So benefits to individual employees. I should have bolded it, but salary increase. There are, and I want to say it was like 21% that I saw most recently when you're CLTD certified. When I always tell my students, and I usually know their bosses, I usually tell my students to go ask for a raise once you get certified. So, like I said, I usually know the bosses, so they get mad at me, but I'm consistent with it. So, right, streamlined logistics and cut costs by strategically looking at all aspects, right? So it's that, again, that individual employee trying to grow, maybe from a forklift driver to a warehouse lead or a supervisor or a logistics manager, whatever those titles are. CLTD allows that individual to gain the knowledge and demonstrate that knowledge through the certification and then credibility. So what are the benefits to the organization? Aligning all those activities, having that strategy, which helps with the common understanding, enabling interdepartmental engagement. That goes back to my example of the transportation person talking to the salesperson or the quoting person, maximizing ROI, and then boosting productivity, right? If you know, knowledge is power, right? So if you know the right way to do things, then at least you can help move in that direction. So exam, a lot of people take the course to get the certification, which I strongly encourage, but it is not a requirement. You can see the benefits. This is a one exam situation, just and it's incredibly similar to CSCP. It's long, it's arduous, there's a lot of content, but it's only one exam. Something different than CSCP is with CLTD, there are no eligibility requirements. My personal opinion on why ASCM did that is to help that help the growth of individuals within the I don't want to call it a silo, but in the logistics, transportation, distribution area of business, right? So that's, again, my own personal opinion on that. So much like CSCP, or at least recent CSCP, the learning system. So the learning system is, I have found incredibly useful because of the different learning styles that people have. I use it, well, not only personally, but I use it as an instructor to kind of go through the course and keep people on track. But there are so many different ways to teach using the learning system, and to learn using the learning system. It's not I think the old school way of teaching, and not that old, but you get the printed PowerPoint slides and listen to somebody talk through, click through PowerPoint slides. That's not the way things are really done. Some other resources. The main thing I want to put on here was the dictionary app. APICS is huge on terminology, and I'm a big proponent of terminology because it's a language. If people are talking a different language, then there's a lot of miscommunication. So using the dictionary app allows for an additional way for students to stay on track, to learn. And what I mean by that is, if you guys aren't familiar with the app, you can put in there, I want to say it's called flashcards, but you can put in there for CLTD specific, and it can send you a reminder each day and give you like the word of the day, or you can go in there and do flashcards, 20 flashcards on CLTD specific. So it's taking that dictionary and segmenting it into what you specifically want and need. It's not, going through and reading the dictionary. So pass, computer-based. So it is something that is being done virtually or with a virtual instructor or virtual proctor. Yeah. 6 months, 150 questions, 3.5 hours. Again, it is so similar to the CSCP exam. It's just a really long, exam that's, if you know your stuff, it's a one-time deal. So what question? So the class, yeah, let me plug this here. The class that we have set up starts in 2 weeks, and it's 12 weeks long. I don't think we have any breaks in there, and it's 5 to 9. I will tell you that my style of instruction is not clicking through PowerPoint slides, but rather videos, small group activities, small group discussions, large group discussions. It's expected to do the reading and do the reading before the class, so that we can expand on some of the more difficult concepts during the class and hit some of those more difficult areas in a different way than just doing the reading or the quizzes on the learning system. So it is not Mike's 4-hour reading time to you. So what questions does anybody have? No, I went fast, but.
No, that was great. Thank you.
Certainly.
How about group sessions? Is there an option to have like multiple people taking the course all at once online?
What? I don't understand.
Now, I was just thinking about having, a team that all gathers in the conference room to get online and take the course.
Oh yeah, certainly. I don't know if they'd want to do that from 5 to 9 in your conference room.
Maybe if I feed them pizza, they might.
Absolutely, yeah. I have found that it is more in all these APICS classes. It is more successful when you have common colleagues, or you have colleagues with common backgrounds to help do outside of class discussions.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm passing down the hallway, or I shoot you an email and say, hey, I read this thing last night that makes 0 sense. I'm there as an instructor, but when you have more of a colleague or a friend to bounce that off. The other psychological piece of having more than one person, knowing more than one person in the class, is an accountability piece. They tend to hold each other accountable for staying on track.
Okay.
So yeah, I strongly encourage that.
And how about pricing? Is there? Yeah, I couldn't find a price list anywhere.
Okay, I included a handout, an attachment to the last email that was the reminder for this meeting.
Oh, okay.
And that email has a flyer attached to it. That flyer is for the College of the Canyons class, and we work with that particular college for this course. So they handle all the registration. So the pricing is on that thing. Now there are basically two prices. One is if the students are qualified for ETP funding, which means that they have to be in California, a California company that qualifies. Maybe Mike, you want to say a couple words about that?
ETP is a subsidized training program from the state where the intention is to keep it applies to certain types of employees in certain types of industries to keep those businesses in California. So I don't know if based on my knowledge of your company, some of your folks might be out of the price range, the salary ranges. If you make too much money, basically, ETP doesn't care about you.
Yeah.
Right, because it's intended to do a growth thing. If you put your title down as president of the company, you're not going to qualify for ETP as an individual, even though the company might. So there are a lot of different rules, and they're changing. I just had a conversation an hour ago with on this whole thing. So yeah, that's pricing is kind of it's not a black and white subject. There's a lot of gray in there. So
Okay.
the other thing I would say is if you in particular had enough people, or if we don't get enough people for this particular class, we may be able to, or we can change the dates. We can change the times. We can make things fit the audience for the most part. And going back to Eric, that might benefit you as well if we decide to do something earlier in the day. So maybe not. I've had students on the East Coast and they're like, no, this is perfect. So I put my kids to bed and I'm able to focus and whatever. So all I'm saying is that we as the chapter, as Ellen as the chapter, can offer a lot of different options.
Well, great. Thank you.
Yeah, so take a look at that handout.
I try to do a webinar before a class to drum up interest for that class, but sometimes it doesn't fit for people's needs. That's why if you communicate with Ellen and say, hey, I'm interested, but I can't do it on Tuesday nights, or I'm interested and I'll be gone 5 of those weeks because I'm going on vacation. Those kinds of things we can work with folks, whether that's tutoring, one-on-one tutoring. It can be an instructor guided class where it's not as hourly intensive, and it becomes more of more of a study group, so to speak, rather than a class. So there are a lot of different options.
Yeah, so those are some of the options we're looking at in case we don't have enough students. The school does require a minimum number of students to hold the course. And I see Tom is on here. Tom, unfortunately, has signed up for this class. How many times, Tom?
I've been in interest since 2019. So she has my registration on file since then. So, but I bug her every like 2 months saying, hey, I'm interested. If this is going to happen, let me know. Or if I see the flyer go out from APICS, yeah. I will say I'm interested. So I can do most days of the week from 5 p.m. Pacific on, if it ends up being a non-College of the Canyons class. It varies. I may be a little late because I on certain days I have to pick up my kids after 5, but I really want to take this class, and
I really want to teach this class. So
yeah.
And that's that's the business side of it is the college does require a minimum number, so we're kind of at their mercy to a certain extent.
Hey, Mike.